All right, joining me now on the show is one of the greatest fighters in the history of boxing, one of the great heavyweights of all time, a Hall of Famer, you name them, he's fought them during his professional boxing career. And he may not be done with boxing, which is something that I would like to talk to him about. The great Evander Holyfield joining me here on the show. Evander, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So I want to get into the latest kind of back and forth with you and Mike Tyson, a fighter you're very familiar with. But I want to first ask, how are you doing during all this pandemic and, what's going on in the world today?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm kind of house person anyway.
So no change if you're a house guy, I guess. All right. So, a lot of people, Evander, that know your history with Mike Tyson, know about the two fights in the 1990s, the bite fight, all those things. But your history with Mike goes back a lot longer than that, right? I mean, were you teammates in '84? I mean, when did you first get to know Mike Tyson?
But in '84, we were both on the losing squad. That's how tough amateur boxing was there in the '80s. Mike and I was on a losing team, and we had to win two fights to make the Olympic team. I was able to do it, and he was not.
So what does the losing team mean? I mean, it's funny listening to two Hall of Famers on the losing team. That's how good it must have been.
Well, meaning that at that time you had great amateur fighters. If like I guess in the light heavyweight division, it kind of changed up by every year. Somebody else beat somebody like that. It was just a tough crop of people at that time.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that light heavyweight. Back then, you were a light heavyweight. Mike Tyson was a heavyweight. I mean, in 1984, were you even thinking at that time, maybe this is someone I can fight down the line?
Well, my goal was even at 65 pounds was to be the heavyweight champion of the world. I was told at 8 years old, I could be the heavyweight champion of the world. And so, that was my goal. And it was surprising that when I went from 147 to 56, then 65, then 78, I started growing after high school.
Mm. Did you know that your body at that point would get, I mean, look, you might be able to get to, high 190s, even 200, but did you think you would be able to grow naturally into a heavyweight?
Well, the art of what my coach told me when I was a kid, he said, it's not how big the guy is, it's can you box? If you even when I was 139 pounds, I sparred with heavyweight. He said, only advantage they got if you stay there too long, get yours and move. And so, the art of the game, if you can box, then you can stay in there. You just can't stand toe to toe with the guy.
Were you friendly with Mike back then? I mean, how close were the fighters on those teams?
Very close, very close. And Mike and I, we worked for hand in hand, and we did spar one time, and the difference is that he was 17 and I was 21, and so when you talking about someone that's 21, somebody 17, it's a big difference for confidence and knowledge.
So when you sparred with a 17-year-old version of Mike Tyson, what did you think?
Well, I definitely knew he was a good puncher because he was knocking everybody out. Mm-hmm. So Mike was the only person he had to pay people to come in to spar with him, but the fact of the matter, he had to pay people to come in. Now, we didn't have to pay nobody because, we wasn't nobody. But somehow he was knocking sparring partners out, with 16-ounce gloves. So, that's what, and that's the difference. He was a puncher. He was a puncher and he was very aggressive. But, I'm a guy that tend to fight people who are aggressive very well.
Yeah, your history shows that. Did Mike Tyson at 17 try to knock you out?
Well, he did what he did, but they stopped it because they said somebody was gonna get hurt. So the Olympic coach came in and stopped it and all this, and Mike was like, wow, and telling people said he's skinny but he's strong like that, and so and I used to spar the heavyweight and the super heavyweights all the time anyway. So I was the guy I sparred with Henry Tillman a lot and Tyrell Big. I spar with all the big guys and stuff like that. I never did spar with people in my same weight division.
So how many rounds did you guys go back then?
They stopped it in about a minute, 30 seconds, said somebody gonna get hurt. And at that time, I had him in the corner and he couldn't get out. So, but people were asking me, I said, well, it's just different. Who gonna talk about you 21 and you sparring at 17 years old, and which was good. He was very good back then. But the point is, when nothing to talk about, he never sparred. And so, I'm to neither one of us, not the coach, the Olympic coach, that stopped it. He said, somebody gonna get hurt like this. And I knew I wasn't gonna get hurt.
So 90 seconds, that's before the coach said enough of the...
Yeah, he stopped it because he just stopped it. When nobody hurt, but I had him in the corner.
Before you got to your 2 fights with Tyson, you were supposed to fight him after he fought Buster Douglas. It was Buster Douglas, then it was supposed to be Evander Holyfield. What do you remember about Douglas versus Tyson? It was a fight over in Japan, but were you watching it live? What do you remember about that night?
I was there.
Oh, you were there. Oh,
I was in Japan, and we, the Duvas had me there to see the fight, and everybody was talking about what Tyson was gonna do to Buster Douglas, and I told him, I said, I seen Buster Douglas fight. I said, I seen him with just one jab and knock a guy out. I thought Buster Douglas was good. And somehow I was wondering why they were saying, Mike actually is not a big guy. And Buster Douglas is a mountain of a guy. And, I'm telling you, it would seem that somebody said, why would you put him in there with that big old guy? But I have seen Tyson knock big guys out. But I knew that Buster Douglas had a good jab, and Buster Douglas, he dropped about 3 or 4 people with just a straight left hand. I said, and he was skillful. I mean, he could box, and he was 6'5", and he got 81 inch, and Mike Tyson 74 inch, and so it was gonna be a hard night for Mike anyway, until he get a chance to hit him. But somehow he did hit him, but Buster Douglas got back up and stayed on him, and eventually won the fight.
Was there a point when you're watching that fight, Evander, where you're like, okay, Mike could be in some real trouble? Was there a point during the fight that you thought that?
I thought that the whole fight, because Buster was he was using the jab real well, and Mike caught him with a shot and dropped it, and he hit the mat, and he got back up, and and he continued to use the jab, and and eventually he caught Mike with a good shot.
Were you disappointed at the outcome? You eventually went on to fight Buster Douglas, but you wanted Mike Tyson. How disappointed were you?
I wasn't disappointed. The art of the game was whoever wins, that's who I was gonna fight. And so, my whole thing wasn't to fight Mike, wasn't to fight Buster Douglas. I wasn't chasing Mike. I wasn't chasing Buster Douglas. I was chasing the champion. Whoever the champ is, that's it. And a lot of people were asking me, said, oh man, you lost a lot of money. I said, what you mean? I said, no, my goal was to be the champion. I just want to fight the champion. I want to be the heavyweight champion of the world just like everybody else wanted to be. That's it. It wasn't about chasing people. Whatever it takes, I was going to do what's necessary to become the world champion.
But was there any part of you that wanted to take that 0 to be the one to beat Mike Tyson?
No, my own thing, I just wanted to be the heavyweight champion of the world. But I also wanted to be the very best that I could be. And so, and my mama had already told me and said, one thing about the people who are the best, you can't wish them away. They're going to always be there. And so, Mike, he, after that, he became champion again.
You just, in your fight with Douglas, you beat him up. You knocked him out early in that fight, third round, I believe. What did you do differently? What was different about your fight that was different with Mike's?
Well, I think that, I think that Buster Douglas took me for granted, because even the press conference, he was so happy to fight me, and would seem like you would be happy to go back and fight Mike because you'll make more money. But he didn't want to come back and fight Mike. He wanted to come back and fight me. And so, I was happy that he honored to fight me, but he told me that, he told me these guys that I fought was easy. And I realized that he probably didn't know I really can box. And, I know I can hit hard too. But a lot of times people think that I could. But the art of the game was my mama said, be quiet and show what you can do when you get in the ring. And so when it came to that fight, he tried to hit me with an uppercut, and that was it. Right hand down the middle.
Right. If people haven't seen that punch, that was a great punch. Right hand down the middle after Douglas whiffed on that uppercut, and you just clobbered him and put him down for the rest of the night. So, your career kind of goes forward after that. Mike has his legal problems. He goes to jail. How quickly after he got out of prison did you start thinking, all right, this is gonna happen. I'm gonna fight Mike Tyson at some point?
No, I never did look at it that. The fact of the matter, I just lost a fight again to Reddit Boat, and in the third fight. And so, in the point of me losing that fight, then I had to fight Bobby Chess. I didn't do real well in that fight. Then all of a sudden, Tyson wanted to fight me. And somebody had said that Don King had said Evander got 1 feet in the graveyard and 1 on banana peeling, and told Mike, this is your time to get it. And because everybody was trying to say that I had heart problems, and say, but I didn't have no heart problem. The fact of the matter, I was over medicated, and that was it. But and Mike and I fought, and I won the first one. Then, of course, in the second, I won that one.
You're one of the great students of the game, Evander. You study your opponents before you fight them. And I think that's always given you an edge over some other fighters of your generation. When you were preparing to fight Mike Tyson for the first time in 96, did you see a difference in him? I mean, he was fighting the Seldons and the Peter McNeelys and other guys. Did you see a difference in Mike than the one you were scouting, years ago as you were thinking about fighting him?
Of course. Whatever your competition is, that can take you up or it can take you down. And so he was accustomed to hitting people, and the people wasn't hitting back. So, so the whole big thing, even in one of the press conferences, people were asking, what do you think? I said, but I tell you what, I said, everybody already know I get hit all the time. I said, but I do hit back. So I said, we'll see when I start hitting him back. Now I said, I know he gonna hit me. I said, but I know I can take it. Now, can he take what I get? And that was the whole art of the game, is just like, I knew he was a great fighter, and I realized it's going to take everything that I need to put pressure on him, but I wasn't going to back up. And because I didn't back up, I was able to win the fight.
You obviously don't know how hard a guy hits till you get in the ring with him, but up until that point, you had fought big punchers like Foreman, like Riddick Bowe. I mean, guys that could crack. When Mike hit you for the first time, what was your reaction? Did you think like, all right, I can take this shot, or was it stronger than you thought?
Well, the thing was not, when you're a fighter, you don't think about the shot you got hit with. Only thing that you only get hit when you make a mistake. So, and the mistakes you make, if you're going to hit the guy or you're going to move. So either you're going to move or you're going to get hit if you don't swing. And so, and that would happen. So when you get shot, when I get hit with that shot, I realized I was wrong. So I should have been a move, or I should have hit him. Because when you hit people, they don't actually get a chance to hit you back a lot of time, unless you throw a combination. And I was the guy that threw combination. Now Mike hit me. Now I'm going to hit him with combination. So when he go back, he going to remember that. He going to remember the last shot I hit him with. Every time in the fight, the purpose was me to get the last punch. If I get the last punch, then he go back thinking about how hard I hit him. And not that I go back thinking about how hard he hit me. So I made sure that every round, the last punch, I was going to hit him with the last punch. Because I wanted him to think about what I was doing.
Was that your strategy with every fight, or was that specific to Mike Tyson?
Well, in general, yeah, every fight. My whole thing is I had fast hands, and especially when I fought the heavyweights, they hit a lot harder, and they were stronger. So the thing is hit them 2 or 3 times in one, and where I can know that I'm always leading. Because if you get behind, people tend to make mistakes when you get behind and you rush yourself, and then that's when you start running into big shots.
So when that first fight ends, Evander, do you know right after, like, there's going to be an immediate rematch?
With Mike and I?
Yes.
Well, no, because but it was something that I did in that fight. I had in my contract that I can quit at any time. So so even when we did that fight, they already had a rematch clause in there. But even though they had that rematch clause, I said I always want to put something in there where I can quit at any given time. So they already negotiated what the second fight was going to be if I won. But I remember telling Don King, do Mike stand a chance? Do Mike know that I may win this fight? Because I kind of felt that if Mike knew that, he wouldn't fight me. So Mike fights that he know he gonna win. So I said, so Don King said, no, you're gonna sign this rematch clause. So I signed the rematch clause. But I also put in the contract that I can quit at any given time. And they said, okay. So I fought, I won. So when the fight was over, when they said rematch, I should know I quit. And so everybody wanted to know why I was quitting because I know what the money amount that I was gonna get next fight, and I wasn't gonna get no money harder. So I quit. And so for me to come back, they had to do a new contract. And so then we fought the second one, and I was happy about what I got, and Tyson was happy what he had.
So you get into that ring in the second fight, and before the whole bite incident happens, was it going a lot like the first fight? Were there differences?
It was a big difference. The second fight, he tried to box me. He stayed on the outside, which allowed me to use my reach. And I was on he wasn't getting no punches at that time. I was hitting with these clean punches, and I knew why he wanted to get out of there because it was just real simple. he would fight my style of fight. Then he was standing out. He was trying to think about when he was trying to think about it. I had to reach, and every time he moved in, I was just getting the best.
Mm. Yeah, no question. And when you get to those later rounds, and the first time you feel that tug on your ear, can you just describe for me what you felt in that moment?
Well, you really don't have to. You know how I jumped. How I jumped. He bit me on my ear, and it was like, and something that you never thought of happened. I'm just, nobody never thinks somebody gonna bite their ear. And plus, even when they showed the tape, and you can see me, it's how strong your neck is. When we get close to each other, we kind of lean our head like this, and it seemed like I leaned my ear right into his mouth. He bit my ear, man, and I remember just how mad I was and how upset I was, and and I realized that I was gonna bite him back, but in the point of me knew that I was gonna bite him back. My corner guy named Tim Hallmark, because this prophet had told us in the match that this guy gonna do something to you, and for me not to lose my cool and all that. He told me keep my mind on the Lord, and so I told my trainer Tim Hallmark to remind me if that do happen. And he kept calling, telling me, keep your mind on the Lord. But I didn't want to keep my mind on the Lord. I wanted to bite him back. But then all of a sudden it came across my mind what my grandmama said, they always catch the person who do it the second time. So I decided not to bite him back. And he bit me again.
He bit you again.
Yeah, he bit me again. Then Bill Vane, he stopped the fight and all that. And so when it all said and done, because I kind of felt because I did the right thing, I actually think that it saved boxing. I truly believe if I would have did what I wanted to do, I was gonna bite him right there in that face like this. And I told Mike that, and he said, "You really was." I said, "I was." I said, but Tim kept hollering, said, "Keep your mind on the Lord." And I thought about that. What would have happened to the game of boxing? The two best fighters biting each other, goring each other, and the game may be over. We wouldn't even be talking about the game now.
Yeah, no question. So, a lot of people have been talking about Tyson since those videos surfaced in the last month or so. You've talked now about potentially getting back in the ring with Tyson, some kind of charity-based thing. When did you start thinking about doing something with Tyson? Was it when these videos came up, or was it even before this?
Well, the thing is that I'm that type of person. I try not to have the bully mentality. And I think the bully mentality is when you know you're better than somebody and you go ask them, let's fight again. So I would never ask him to fight again because the fact that I won 2 fights. So, I'd rather ask Reddy Bowe because Reddy Bowe beat me 2 times out of 3. Now that's how I am because I'm not being a bully. I'm going against somebody who got one up on me. Maybe it'd be easy for him to come in than for me to fight somebody I know I have beat twice. And so I never did even think about Tyson, but it just so happened I was training, he was training. His video came up in training. Somebody filmed me, and mine came up, and they said, "What would happen both these guys with me?" I said, "Well, I don't mind if he wanted to do it, but I'm not gonna be the one to say let's do it, because that's kind of bully mentality. You just doing it because you believe you can beat it. Well, I wouldn't go in the ring with nobody I didn't think I could beat anyway. I'm the best me. I just wouldn't, because that's just part of, you know, my mama said, don't ever get beat by a reputation. And that practical, and I was the youngest of 9 in my family. So, you know, I got beat up a lot by my brothers and sisters. So, but my mama said, don't get beat up by a reputation. And I said, you know, hey, train hard, work hard, don't quit.
So when it comes to Tyson, like, what do you want to do? Like, what would a fight between Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson look like right now?
Well, I'm not for sure, because I don't know how good a shape he in. I don't know what he done to his body. I know that I always stay in shape. It's part of my life. It's part of my life, and a part of things that I want to be able to share with the younger kids. And when my foundation talk to the younger kids by telling me, if you take care of your body at a young age, then when you get older, you'll be able to do some things other people won't be able to do. And it's just a part of life. You don't pick up other people's bad habits. Everybody got bad habits, but you don't want to pick up other people's bad habits.
So I mean, you talking about like a fight with headgear, without headgear, 6 rounds, 10 rounds. I mean, what kind of thing would you want to do if you could choose?
Well, exhibition. My whole thing, I want something where that there won't be no decision. And just, you know, look, we're doing exhibition, you know? And so whatever game he bring, I bring the same thing. You know, so whatever way that it turn out, that it won't be a decision, but you know, we give our very best to who we are as people.
So do you think this is going to happen? I mean, have you been talking to Tyson? I mean, has anybody around you been talking to Tyson's team? I mean, how likely is this?
Well, it's a good chance. It's the people want it. See, everything is about the people. The people kind of stir it up, because, you know, no one just doing it for free. So, you know, it's what the people want, and, you know, it's what the people get for what they want.
Mm-hmm. What happens if in an exhibition like this, Tyson tries to bite your ear again?
Well, I don't think he would do that. I think Tyson changed a lot. He changed a lot. You know, it is what it is.
What if you went in with like big, like Dumbo ears, just like, you know, for just to give him an easy target?
Oh, when I think of my whole thing, I think about that situation because everybody looks at Evander, you put your ear in his mouth. Now his mouth was open. You put your head that way. And I said, you know, it do look like I did do that. I said, but you know, I said, it bit me twice though. I was double up to about because he did it twice.
First time might have been a mistake. Second time, no way.
Right. That's it. But you know, we got over it, and you know, we cool about it.
Hey, you guys were recently. You and Lennox and Tyson were all at the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight, right? You were all there together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was that like to be kind of reunited with those two?
Well, it showed me this, you know, in that era from, you know, 1980, 84 to 2000, you know, you got about 7 champions. 7 people became the world champion. It was amazing that everybody liked Ali. Everybody was kind of inspired by Ali, and everybody became champion. And so, you know, that's a great thing, which show you how good that era was and how good amateur boxing was back in those days. I think when you take care of the young kids and investing in the young kids, the one that allow you to have these great memories later on.
Yeah, no question. It was a great era for amateur boxing. You know, so many great fighters, yourself included in that mix. Evander, good luck to you, man. I hope it happens. I think it'd be kind of fun to see the two of you share a ring one more time for charity, exhibition. Good luck, man, and thanks for joining me. This was a lot of fun.